Good morning. Good morning. My name is Nicola Stupka, and it is my privilege to serve as your worship associate this morning. The theme for March is renewal. I am a communications teacher and a writer, so I spend a lot of time thinking about word choice and the psychology of language, especially when I am working on a lesson plan or a short story. But I've been trying to incorporate more of this language analysis into my personal life as well. And lately, as I've thought deeply about the topic of renewal, I realize it is a concept that is far more deserving of praise than I have been giving it. Simply put, I was surprised to realize that I could stand to renew my approach to renewal. I can be extremely literal, so too often I've thought of renewal as obligatory, if only because the word renewal is usually accompanied by some unpleasant task on my to-do list. I might need to renew a library book, or an insurance policy, or my car registration. I just did that. Not so fun. To fail to renew in these cases could result in a fine or a penalty or a headache. So some form of renewal is necessary in my life, but I've realized that when I think of the most rewarding experiences and relationships, they've also often involved renewal. There was the time I renewed my commitment to a friendship that needed more time than I was giving it. There was the time I renewed my dedication to writing by letting go of other things that were taking up too much of my time and energy. So renewing library books and insurance policies are necessary parts of life, but I hope to remember going forward to think of renewal in less literal ways and in more meaningful ways instead, so that I might do more of it. Renewal allows us to benefit from our experiences and perspective, to take what we've learned from the past and to do better next time and the time after that. We come together in community, supporting and encouraging each other on our spiritual journeys, affirming the importance not only of tolerance, but of acceptance, compassion, and open-mindedness. Welcome to this good place, Tapestry, a Unitarian Universalist congregation. If you are a Facebook user, please be sure to check in to let your friends know what a wonderful congregation we are. And now, if you could please take a moment to turn off mobile phones and other devices that might be disruptive to our worship time together. Also, to help maintain a contemplative atmosphere, please hold your applause until after the postlude is finished and the service is completed. We are a welcoming congregation, and we extend a warm greeting to any newcomers. This Sunday, today, we will pause to celebrate all of the birthdays in our community. We will have cake to celebrate after the service. Would you please stand or raise your hand if you have a birthday this month? Let's all sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I do have just a few announcements. There is a coordinating council meeting today after the brunch. And now Kathy has an announcement. I'd like to invite her up.
Good morning. I just wanted to invite you to take a look inside your order of service, or you have a little half sheet of purple information there. I wanted to comment on that today. Molly and I have been working this month with the Tapestry UU Youth, the middle school and high schoolers, and they're looking at career exploration. And it's never too soon to start thinking about what careers they want to explore. And it's been really exciting working with them. We've had about 15 kids off and on most Sundays coming to explore that topic with us. And it'll be soon culminating in their need to do an informational interview, which is basically talking to one of you lovely folks about your job, your career, one you have now, one you've had in the past. So if you're interested in next Sunday, maybe 15 minutes after the service, to let one of our UU youth interview you briefly, 10, 15 minutes about what you're passionate about with your job, why that was meaningful for you. We're hoping to have that connection happen next week or the following week as well, April 3rd, anytime during the service or immediately before and after. We'd love to know about that. So if you could just put your name, what job you'd be interested in talking about, and there's a basket at the greeters table. I'll be in touch with you. So thanks so much.
We are a busy congregation with lots of activities. You can find information about all upcoming events and services in your order of service, the Tapestry website, or the new Tapestry app. If you need help downloading the app, please see a member of the worship committee. Our various groups and events reflect our vision of becoming a transformational home for liberal spirituality and a dynamic community leader in Orange County and beyond. And now, Gary and Pat Glass will light our flaming chalice, the central symbol of our Unitarian Universalist heritage. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lit the flame within us.
This is an unusual Sunday. Beyond the overwhelming smell of breakfast, it's the climax of our pledge campaign, a celebration of the financial generosity that makes Tapestry possible. And I want to recognize that on any given Sunday, we have visitors and guests and folks who haven't quite woven into our community. It's not our intention to exclude anyone from a worship experience, but really today's service is directed at Tapestry's members and friends. If you're a visitor today, or if you're very new to our community, I welcome you to bear witness to this celebration. I hope that you enjoy the joy and the generous spirit that this community is all about. Next week's service, though, is aimed at welcoming newcomers to Unitarian Universalism as we revisit the renewal of Easter in a Unitarian Universalist light. So come into this circle of love and justice. Come into this community where we can dream and believe in those dreams. Come into this holy space where we remember who we are and how we want to live. Every Sunday, we pause for a moment to lift up the joys and sorrows in the midst of our community. Some do that by lighting a candle in silent recognition. Others have messages written or emailed in. I have two messages that I want to share with you today. Bev Huff asked that to keep her daughter in our thoughts and prayers this week as she's in Greece with her church group helping the refugees in camps there. The apple does not fall far from the tree. I also wanted to lift up this morning the Joneses. They've had a rough week. Some of you know from Facebook, Brett stepped on a sewing needle that broke off in his foot. So he's had surgery to remove that, and they're all battling this flu-like cold that I hear everyone dealing with. So it's nothing life-threatening, but it's a rough week. For those concerns and for all those that have been recognized in candles. And now Karen has a story for our young and young at heart, if you want to join us up front.
So our book today is called Peep, a little book about taking a leap. It's funny. Peep marched, tick-tock, tick-tock, along the edge of the sidewalk with his mother and sisters. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. Peep's sisters hopped off the sidewalk. Peep looked over the edge. "Oh no," he gasped. "I can't." Peep's legs trembled. "I'm not sure about this." "I don't want to." "I don't feel so good. I'm going home now, okay?" "Okay?" Uh-oh. He's getting upset. "Mom!" His mother called. "You can do it, Peep!" His sister cried. "Jump, Peep, jump!" Peep blinked 3 times. He took a big gulp and sailed off the sidewalk. Oh. I did it! His sisters squealed and kissed him. Peep took a deep breath and sighed. "Ah, I did it." Uh-oh. So today we're talking about taking a leap and all the ways that we can support Tapestry. And so we're going to end our classes a little bit early today so you can come back with your families and be part of the ritual of making a commitment to Tapestry together. So we'll see you all a little earlier than usual. And now we're going to head to our classes.
I want to invite Bill up here to join us to tell us a little bit about why he supports Tapestry as one of our really newer members. Come on up, Bill.
All the way up there?
If you can. If not, we can bring a microphone to you.
I can do it.
There you go.
A leap of faith is right. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just renewed my passport. That means I'm ready to go. My wife Kay and I moved to Southern California in the fall of 2011 to be near her family. She had a brain disease, and she became progressively more ill. As I became her full-time caregiver, we became more and more isolated, only knowing a few neighbors. She died in May of 2015, and then I was left pretty much alone. After a few months, I had to reach out for human contact. As old codgers are wont to do, I went to the Yellow Pages and looked in the church section. I was looking for an atheist congregation, but of course there weren't any. A little bit further down the line, though, I noticed Tapestry. I was familiar with Unitarian Universalism, and so I knew I would find a welcoming congregation of liberal thinking people who wouldn't judge me. And so, after a few thought-provoking sermons and friendly conversations with people, I decided to join. This enabled me to not only be part of a group, but to have some other social contacts, like the book club, and we need more members, and the men's Saturday morning breakfast group. But it also gave me a chance to participate in some causes that I had never thought about before, like Syrian relief and like Friends of Orange County Detainees, and most recently Civic, and of course to Tapestry. So I'm here to stay. I came looking for a lifeline, and I found an anchor. Thank you.
Now is the time for us to meditate. So take just a moment, take a couple of deep breaths, settle into your seat, and let the gratitude for being in this community, for being in this life, for being in this world fill your heart in this moment. Namaste. Amen. Blessed be. Over the past few weeks, you've heard testimonials from Tapestry members. They've told you about why they care about Tapestry, why they've chosen to support this community with their money. So now I suppose it's my turn. I have a peculiar but distinct memory of a Tapestry dinner at my home. I think it was during my first year here in ministry, and I've invited several of our younger members over to my tiny apartment. It was actually way too many for my apartment. It was the start of what has evolved into our 30s and 40s group. And I'm pretty sure the Lickfits were there, and the Olivo Reeds, and I'm not certain who else. I just remember it being a really fun evening. And I remember realizing for the first time, this is a congregation that I would go to even if it weren't my job. I remember thinking, as I still do, that this is a group of people that I would choose to be a part of. We're talking a lot this month about fundraising and budgets and Tapestry as an institution. I'm fond of Unitarian Universalism and I'm fond of Tapestry, but those two things are both institutions. They're a way of organizing people and organizing money to achieve a particular goal. Now, while I am a Unitarian Universalist, my faith is not in that institution in Boston. My faith is in something much larger than that. My faith is in a spirit of creation that I believe pervades the entire universe and everyone in it. My faith is in a spirit of creation that has a spark in human hearts, and it's our task to nurture that spark in ourselves and in other people. My faith is in something far beyond what I can name or what I can even fully know. I'm not a Unitarian Universalist because I love the institution. I'm a Unitarian Universalist because I think that institution is a really, really helpful tool for exercising my faith in the world. And I support Tapestry not for the sake of an annual budget or a building. I support Tapestry. I love Tapestry because this institution that has been around for about 40 years is an amazing opportunity for us to exercise our faith. It's an opportunity to learn and to love and to be challenged and to change the world. I support Tapestry because I It leans forward to embody what I think is right and good in the world. It feels strange, honestly, to be raising money when Tapestry pays my salary. Just get that out there. Hopefully you realize by now that my commitments to this congregation are more than a financial arrangement. I believe in this project, and the rest of the staff does too, actually. I say this from time to time. We have an amazing staff. I'm honestly embarrassed to talk about them with my ministerial colleagues because they are so good and we are so spoiled. Not only are they kind and lovely people, but they're incredibly skilled at their particular fields of work. And probably most importantly, they also care deeply about Tapestry. Not about the institution and their jobs, but about our mission and the people here. So last year, I decided for the first time ever to pledge to Tapestry. From my very informal analysis, about half of ministers contribute to their congregations for a variety of different reasons, but it felt right. It felt like this is a project that makes the world a better place and has a really good time doing it. So this year I'm increasing my pledge by 10%. It's what I can reasonably do. And I really know, that Tapestry needs the money. And I think that this is a really important moment in the life of our congregation. Some of our previous major funders have died, and we have a bunch of new members and new energy. Simply put, we've got a lot of potential going on, but we need some funding to get to the next level. Now, we've never done a pledge campaign quite like this one before. In all of the years past that I know of, it's been this month-long experience, sort of like NPR, where people give throughout the month and you think, good God, when is this going to end? It involves letters and emails and phone calls, and the money sort of streams in and we kind of announce it along the way, but we never make a final announcement of this was it. But this year we're doing something different. Today we're taking a leap of faith together. As I think you're aware, the plan is to collect pledges during our service today, and later at brunch we'll announce the results of how much we have to work with this coming year. We've never announced the results of a pledge campaign immediately, and it's a little bit terrifying. But we are making this leap of faith together. Eddie and I where are you, Eddie? There you are. Came up with the Leap of Faith name for this campaign. It was a totally random idea at first, but it's grown on me. It seems especially fitting for us as Unitarian Universalists. Now, and our understanding of faith. Leap of faith shouldn't make you think of lemmings, because when we talk about faith, it means something very different from what our neighbors think of as faith. Faith to us is a combination of appreciating the world with eyes wide open, naming the challenges and the beauty of this world, and knowing that it can be even better. Hopefully that's the kind of faith you have in mind when you support Tapestry. A bright-eyed view of this world that we share with a vision for an even better future. Now, the leap part, some of you are probably not so sure about. A lot of you have been here for 15 years or more, and one more pledge campaign feels like one more step in the journey. That's hardly a dramatic leap. Now, long-term success is built on a combination of step-by-step persistence and making bold and decisive leaps from time to time. As far as I can tell, the Board of Trustees, I think, would agree, we're in a special position, on the cusp of breaking through to something big. Our operating budget is frankly incredibly tight. So as you prepare to make your financial commitment for this year, we're asking you to think in terms of leaps rather than steps. I think each one of you got a phone call or at least a message about today. The board was not thrilled about making those calls. No one likes to call and ask for money. It's really uncomfortable. But they were surprised, and not surprised, they were really heartened to get positive feedback. People wanted to talk to them about their excitement about Tapestry. In fact, I heard that one family was even sort of postponing a trip out of town so that they could be here today. So you knew what you were getting into this morning. In fact, I'm willing to bet that you came here because you want to be inspired to give more fully. But you can do a much better job at that than I can. You know the reasons that you participate in this community. So I want to ask you a few questions. The first time that you walked through the door, whether it was last week or 20 years ago, what were you hungry for? Why did you choose to seek something out? Why did you first seek out a congregation? And after you came a few times and kind of figured out what this was all about, why did you decide to keep coming? Remember, this was just an experiment when it started. When you first walked through that door, you didn't know if you'd come back. But why did you keep coming and make this your spiritual home? And finally, what have you enjoyed this year? What was exciting, comforting, challenging, or nurturing in a way that you couldn't get from sitting at home? What was special for you this year? As you think of those reasons that you care about Tapestry, I challenge you to think more about offering that joy, that challenge, that excitement to others, rather than paying your dues to the club to secure those services for yourself. Think bigger than paying your part, and think about giving in a way that makes room for more people to enjoy what you love about this place. We're a generous congregation, and we're also a very polite congregation most of the time. After today, probably at brunch, someone is going to say thank you for your contribution to this community. Eddie will say it, and others probably will too. There are a lot of different ways that we respond to those words, thank you. You might say, it's no big deal, no problem. Or maybe we turn the tables and we say, thank you for all that you do. Oh, it's the least that I could do. This year, when someone thanks you for your gift to Tapestry, I don't want you to avoid credit, and I don't want you to deflect. I want you to give something that you're proud of so that you can clearly say, you're welcome. And when you say you're welcome, know that your gift is in fact making room for someone else to be welcome here. For the gifts that we have received and the gifts which we ourselves are, may we be truly grateful. May we be committed to using these gifts to make a difference in the world to increase love and justice, to decrease hatred and oppression, to expand our beloved community, to share and to keep sharing as long as we ever can.
We extinguish this flame, knowing the light remains in the warmth and compassion of our hearts until we are together again.
As you're aware, we'll have brunch after the service, but in order for that to get set up, I'm going to ask that we head outside for about 15 minutes and a couple, maybe a handful of really physically capable people stick around in here and help us set up tables. If you would, take the hand of someone near you for these closing words. Hold in your heart the certainty that the Spirit of life is with you always. When your heart is torn asunder, or when you soar with sweet joy, you're never alone, never apart from the Spirit that resides within us, that guides our lives and cherishes each of you. Now go in peace and let the light within you be a blessing to the world.